Take 14 minutes and 30 seconds to start 72E reading. All right, who wants to do number 1? Perfect.
So I got A for this, and I found it in line 26. It says line 26 to 27. It says, "So I read, wrote, and studied in silence." So that's how
So you said line 26, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So what answer did you get?
I got A.
A. Did anyone get anything else other than A? You got D. Christian, how'd you get D?
Line 20 said I wrote it.
Perfect. Yes. So right here in line 20, it says, I loved it. After saying the light of the lamp just above the table, dark of the room surrounding it. I loved it. So he's basically saying that he loved the general atmosphere that was going on and spending his summers there. All right, number 2. So the right answer for that one should, in fact, be D. Number 2. So how we do reading, I don't know if Jason went over this when he introduced reading. You analyze, first you underline and circle everything that's important. Common nouns, dates, times, names. If you ever see pronouns shifting, underline those. If you ever see a time change, so if it's going from past to present tense or vice versa, underline that and identify that. Also, focus on the first sentence and last sentence of every paragraph. That is where your indicators for what that past paragraph is about. That's what it tells you. So there's always an indicator in the question that directs you back to the passage. So find those indicators when you're answering the question. Yeah. So there are always going to be those types of questions. But for number 2, there should be something you underline that can take you directly back to which passage. So what would you underline in number 2? Good. This right here is our indicator. Novels to your reading, pleasure, and entertainment. Now, if you were doing... Okay, I don't know why it's lagging so much. If you were good at underlining, you should have underlined in paragraph 1. It says right here, novels for your reading, pleasure, and entertainment series. So you know your answer is in paragraph 1. So, Sid, do number 2.
I got H.
You got H. Who got G? Okay, why don't you go first, Venkat? Sid, I want you to find out how you got G as well.
Well, I mean, everything that they do, they teach in school.
Manvita, did you find any other place?
I got G also, but I think it's because it says they also rewrote passages in the novel that they found awkward and stuff. So since they had to rewrite it, it wasn't the best.
Good, and I spoke incorrectly. Actually, your right answer is not going to be in paragraph 1. Where it's going to be is in line. Did anyone get a specific line number that shows it? Good, 42. A better novel or better novella available. That right there tells us that there's something better on the market. All right, number 3. Yes, it is G. And what you'll notice is there are a lot of extreme answers in reading. Whenever you use strong words, automatically eliminate it. They were essential. That word right there can make us eliminate F. Not necessarily, because this is an absolute. They were essential. They couldn't live without it. So are they really essential for educated people? No, they really aren't. But how I was taught when I took a class was always eliminate extreme answers, which it works a lot on reading. So we'll see more of those as we go. Number 3, who can do that? Which one? B? Yeah, how'd you get B? Yes, good. So actually, Not necessarily. Or most of the time, your answers are in the first sentence or last sentence of every paragraph. Nope. Go back to the around 51.
61.
51 says, that he get home.
Good. Taking it home. That's the indicator. So when he takes it home, you know he's not living. And then they follow it by take home. And they follow it by saying that, yeah, the mom's income. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Number 4. Number 4, who got H? Alright, Venkat, how'd you get H?
It says in line 5 and 6, it says they were at the dining table pulling the scene and down and reading and editing the manuscripts. And then it says sometimes they did some writing.
Good. Yeah, so number 4 is all found right here in the last few sentences of paragraph 1. Give me a second. Okay, number 5. Who wants to do that? How'd you get C?
Line 32, it says she was reading with a smile and making corrections, but then it says she must have suffered from having to spend so much time.
Good. Lines 33, it says, grandmother who did everything with a light touch, reading with a smile. So this stands in stark contrast with the text she's reading, which is very boring, and they even say the grandpa did not like it. Like he was gazing out, lost into the distance. And yeah, the text stands in stark contrast to the grandma's smile. Okay, question 6. Go ahead.
I got a D for this one.
Okay, which line gave you that?
I got that in, it said, line 68. It said, since it took a lot of doing, and they did it out of luck, I did not dare resist.
Good. So, how we do this now? Again, just like science, these types of questions. If this camera would work. Give me a sec. Oh, yeah. Alright, this isn't working. We're going to go back to what we did last time. Give me a sec. And we figured out how to put the recordings tonight. They'll all be on all of your guys' portals. Okay, right here. Whenever you have questions like this, always underline the first word. Is it annoyance, relief, happiness, or acceptance? And that basically can eliminate half of these answer choices right off the bat. Whenever you're taking this test, it's seconds that matter. So all these tips that take off seconds, this is how you approach this question. And then we know it's acceptance, and then we look at the reasoning. All right, question 7, line 10, forthcoming. What does that mean? Yes, provided. All right, that one was an easy one. 8. How the narrator portrays his grandparents' attitude toward literature. So you said G? Who got F? Krisha, how'd you get F?
In line 29, it says that his grandfather was lost in intro distance. Then line 31 says his grandmother with a smile.
Yes, good. So right here, these lines right here tell us the answer to that question. It basically said, grandfather, his dark eyes now riveted on the work before him, now gazing out lost into distance. Grandmother, who basically fell in love with the writing and dove right into it. So basically that shows that the grandfather was indifferent. What does indifferent mean? He didn't care, he didn't really care.
Wouldn't that be better from line 35? It says, well, he cared only for history books and had a neutral, objective relationship with novels they dealt with. She loved literature.
Yep, that's actually it. That's what I had to. Let's read it again now. Yes. Yep. Good. So from line 34 to line 39, it better suits this question right here. And there are always multiple ways to get it, but I don't like 30 to 34 actually. This is the right part right here. Okay. Question 9. Who wants to do that? Come on with the question 9.
I got B because in that little paragraph, it was just about how the narrator wasn't allowed to read the novels for your reading pleasure series thing, and how there was like better books to read.
Good. So what you get for your answer?
I got B.
B, and that is correct. Good. So yeah, this one is pretty straightforward. They didn't want the kid reading the text, so they offered her better novels or novellas, and that's most apt with B. Number 10. How'd you get J?
It's like, is it on 60?
Okay, wait. Before we even do that, this is a very good example of you want to underline unique words. It's just like science. You underline unique stuff that's going to take you back to the passage. So what unique words in number 10 would give us the answer? Which bound galleys. Good. So what I'm going to do, theoretically on my passage, all the first few sentences in each paragraph should have the key thing that's underlined. So if I skim this passage starting from paragraph 1, I can easily find which passage it's in, because I should have bound galleys circled right here in line 48. And then I know my right answer is going to be somewhere in this paragraph. And then I skim this paragraph for my answer. That's how you're supposed to do reading. So where in here is the right answer? Yes. I was a good boy. I refrained from reading and printed sides of the pages for years. So basically it's saying that he refrained, but then he read them anyway. Does that make sense? Alright. You guys are going to take another 14 minutes and finish this off while I figure out this camera.
Wait, we still have a second.
Yeah, we're not going to do that just yet. Let's switch. Oh, actually, we'll do it. We'll just do this one first.
I took like 9 minutes for the first one.
So how it goes is the prose fiction is typically the hardest because it's like a story, and what you're gonna notice is some people who like it, they can read that quickly. But to most people, social science and natural science is the easiest because it's straight facts, and your answer is right there, word for word from the passage. So passage 2 should have been easy for a lot of kids. The fourth passage is always the easiest, and that's what you want to take like 7 minutes to do, or 6 even. You want to read that really quickly and finish it off. Don't do that first though. Keep it for the end. Again, this one is a science passage. It's straight facts. So, number 11, lines 4 to 6. What did they do? What'd you get?
D.
Alright, Benkat, how'd you get D?
Is it because in line 6 it says in 1997 a latter hypothesis was dealt a powerful blow by geneticist Savante?
Yeah, but what is lines 4 to 6 though? What is that telling us?
It was just talking about how the modern human, like what happened with the modern human.
But this itself is the controversy, right? The controversy is, did they either interbreed or did they get swept out before? That's the controversy. So that's why she presented it. And she asked it as a rhetorical question. Did the modern humans sweeping out of Africa beginning some 60,000 years ago completely replace the Neanderthals, or did they interbreed with them? That itself is the whole basis of this passage. And that tells us the whole controversy right there. Okay, number 12. 25, genetic bombshell. First to Pablo and his teams, what? Who got G? Alright, let's have Varun. Why don't you do this one? How do you do number 12? Or, yeah, 12.
Like, it says genetic bombshell, and like the minute says, it seemed to confirm that Neanderthals were separate species. So then, like, it says Jesus finding the DNA from Neanderthal specimen differs significantly. So they're both like kind of the same, right?
Nope. Try it again. It's not funny, man. Try it again.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's try it. Okay, so Pablo's genetic bombshell seemed to confirm. Okay, so knowing the succession of this passage, you should know that the genetic bombshell was mentioned previously. So if you don't know, what we're going to do is we're going to skim the previous paragraph. Right here. The intro up till here laid out the controversy, so we don't even need to start there. Let's start right here with Pablo and his colleagues were able to extract a tiny 378-letter snippet of mitochondrial DNA from the 40,000-year-old. When they read out the letters of the code, they found that the specimen's DNA differed from the living humans to a degree suggesting that Neanderthals had begun to diverge long before the modern human migration, thus represents separate geographic and evolutionary branches splitting from a common ancestor. So what is this telling us? It's telling us that it's impossible that they interbred, that they diverged long before. Because what is the whole controversy, Varun? Say it to me very simply. Don't read off what's in the passage.
Like whether the Neanderthals are different from the humans or what?
No. All right. It's basically asking us, so read this part. Read the controversy and then tell me.
Did the modern humans, did the humans replace the Neanderthals,
Or
did they interbreed them?
okay, good. So right here, after learning that it's impossible that they interbred, because what did they say? The DNA differed to a degree, to a extensive degree. So we know it's impossible that they interbred. So that's the genetic bombshell. That seemed to affirm that Neanderthals were a separate species. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who wants to do 12 or 13? Rohit.
I got B.
Okay.
So I found this.
If I was to underline something in the question, what would that be?
3D measurements
Okay.
of Neanderthal.
Well, okay. What is the whole passage about, though?
It's like what
The whole passage is about Neanderthals, right? So this is where we get into the thing where we want to choose unique words. You're right for 3D measurements because maybe only one paragraph was mentioned about that, but the whole passage is about Neanderthals, right? So we want to kind of get away from circling the main character and more specifically circling unique names. So was Harvati mentioned a lot?
Yeah.
She was mentioned a lot? I think she was only mentioned once or twice, right?
Two.
Yeah. So we can do Harvati and 3D. So let's use those two cues to find out which paragraph our answer should be in.
Well, I found this in like line like 40.
Good. But how do I know to look into line 40 is look at the first sentence. It has Harvati and it has 3D. And I should have had this stuff circled regardless as I was reading the passage. Okay, so now I know that it's in this paragraph, so now I'm going to skim it. And you said which line is it in?
It's like 39 to like.
Which specific line tells me my answer though?
It says 39. It says use detailed 3D measurements of Neanderthal and early modern human fossils to predict exactly what hybrids between the two would have looked like.
Good, right here in line 41 to predict exactly what hybrids would have looked like. And that's your answer. So, notice how he circled the unique stuff like 3D measurements. And that's what found him his answer. Alright, question 14. Who wants to do this? Venkat, let's have you raise your hand, buddy, because you're answering way too many. Someone else answer them. Come on. Venkat's doing good. He's gotten every single one right. So, someone else. Brianna, number 14.
I also said H.
Okay.
Well, because you said you could eliminate extreme answers, so you can eliminate F and G because they both say the list. And then if you underlined A, Ramidus, that was mentioned in a paragraph with line 75. And yeah. And then it said that it was 4.4 million years old. And then if you looked at Lucy in paragraph including line 50, it says 3.2 million. So then Lucy is not as old as.
Perfect. Right here, 4.4, and that is the Aramidus, and we know Lucy's 3.2 million years, so it's not as old. When I say eliminate the extreme answers, proceed with caution, okay? Still read them, and if you think that that should always be in the back of your mind, though. Just read it still. Okay, 15. Okay, they got 15.
15, I said it was A.
How'd you get A?
I forgot where I found it, but
Venkat, did you get A as well? Did anyone else get anything other than A?
D.
Where'd you get D from?
It's in 55 to, yeah, 55 to 65.
Okay, which specific place? Which specific line?
62.
Good. Basically, in this passage, in this paragraph right here, they tell us that it's more valuable for them to study, the scientists to study, than be on tour. And it even says that the bones could sustain damage and that it would take it out of scientific circulation for far too long. So they're saying that, and then followed by the last sentence, it says, major museums turned it away for those reasons. So the reasons listed in this paragraph, the museums turned them away. And remember what I said, circle the first sentence and last sentence, and that's what tells you your indicators. You should have circled like museums, major museums, and then turn the exhibit away. You should have circled those two, and if you circled museums, you'd know automatically that your answer would be in this paragraph. Okay, 16. period of exclusivity, 87 to 88. Manvita, 16.
I didn't do this one yet, so.
All right, let's try 87 to 88. The term period of exclusivity most nearly refers to what?
It's okay.
Whenever they give you a line number, read the sentence before and after.
Well, the sentence before it says the scientists who unearthed the remnants of humanity's past deserve a first crack at describing and analyzing them, but there should be clear limits on this period of exclusivity.
Good. So what is the right answer?
It's H.
What'd you get, Venkat?
No, I got H, but I was thinking like could it also be J?
It'll also be David.
I mean,
But it wasn't unearthed
By other scientists.
oh,
That's the key word. So this right here, how you know 87 to 88, by using the pronoun this, you know you have to refer to something close by. And if you look at the previous sentence, it's a scientist who unearthed the remnants of humanity's past deserve first crack. So that's what tells us our answer. 17, 79 to 84. Krishay.
Got a B.
And how'd you get B?
On line 80, it says that white forest part.
Good.
Forest part means it. You just
Yeah. So this is basically he's trying to make up some BS explaining why he's limiting access to Lucy and saying, or no, the Aramidus one. So he's basically saying that they're waiting for the full assessment or something like that. So he's trying to justify himself for why he's not letting anyone else look at the skeleton. All right, 18. So now we're looking at the tones. All right, how do we do these types of questions? Again, we know all of them are Hall, so we don't need to underline that. Is Hall sentimental, objective, disappointed, or sarcastic? Is she sarcastic? In passage A, was there any notion of sarcasm? No. J's out. H, was she disappointed and angry? No. Was she objective? What's the definition of objective?
bias.
Nope.
She has a goal.
Nope. What's objective versus subjective?
Having no bias.
No bias. Good. Objective means you're straight with the object. That's the facts that are there. Subjective means the subject is evoking their own emotions into whatever they're doing. Remember, ACT, we don't choose subjective answers. We only choose objective answers. So the right answer is in fact J, because Hall is objective, whereas they are more critical and concerned about taking the stuff out of circulation, and they put in some of their emotions into it.
So it's G or J?
It's G. Okay. And in no way for F, was the second author cynical. They were not degrading in any way this passage. Okay, 19. Sid, 19.
I didn't get to 19 or 20.
Okay. Who got to 19? Yes, it is A. How'd you get that?
Oh.
This is a question.
Last paragraph of passage B shows that there should be clear limits on this period of exclusivity. So, yeah, I think you should share it.
Yes. This one, you don't necessarily need to find a line number, but yeah, that's good but there should be clear limits in line 88 on this period of exclusivity. That could have given you the answer as well. But this one, you have to go with the overall tone of the passage and choose A. Okay, 20. How'd you get it, Venkat?
Well, I kind of just guessed on it because I was like 10 seconds.
Appreciate 20.
Okay, so in passage A, you're just talking about where it originated and DNA too. But in passage B, it doesn't mention DNA and the original.
Good. It doesn't care about how it relates to the genetics and all that. It's more focused on the scientists' goal of limiting access to it and how the museums did not want it. That's basically that's a plot question. All right, we're gonna go on to science. Take another Scantron.
So is it J?
Yes, it is J. Pass these Scantrons around. Take one.
Do we have to take writing?
What?
When we do the ACT?
Yes, every good college that you're planning on applying to will want writing.
So do we have to, like, are we gonna practice that? Or?
No, you don't need to do good on writing. Jason, who got a perfect score on his ACT, got a 21 out of 36 on his, actually a 19, which is absolutely terrible. That is to the point where he's illiterate. Like, he can't write. Another one of my friends who got a 36 got a 21 on writing. Nikhil, he got a 21.
I thought it was out of 12 points.
No, when we took it, it was out of 36. Now it's out of 12, but a 19 is like a 4 out of 12. That's still terrible. It's not like that's anything commendable. Yet, no college ever rejected him because you submit your own essays to colleges, so they don't care.
I need a Scantron.
Well, they're up here.
They only look at your ELA score, which you need a Scantron.
It's
Oh,
the whole-
Yeah. Two more.
they only look at your ELA score, which is your English language arts grammar one, and that's all they care about. And for that, everyone here should get a 30, like above a 30, because we've done English. Okay, you're gonna take the full time and do this. Actually, no. How many minutes are we gonna need for passage 1?
4.
No.
30.
Yes. Passage 2.
3.
Good. Passage 3.
4.
Okay, so take 10 minutes to do. Actually, we'll do one more passage.
Vern doesn't have that.
All right, I'll get you one sec. All right, passage 4. How many minutes?
4.
Okay, so we're at 14 minutes. You guys can start. I'll get you a scan. Oh, you don't have the science one. Okay. Have 5 minutes left. We have 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes left.
What passage are we doing?
Up to passage 4. All right, your time's up. let's go over this. Number 1. Alright, I'll do this first passage for you. You guys can do the rest. Which of the following elements Which of the following elements emitted X-rays that had the same maximum intensity in both materials? Underline maximum intensity, both materials. You're going to circle CO in both and SI in both. Actually, no. I messed that one up. Yeah, CA. Yep. Maximum density. Yes. It should be CR. CR, CR. The right answer should be B. Number 2. Number 2, underline figure 2 and additional information. What is the order of that from lowest to highest? And yes, B. So you'll see the easiest way to do this is find the maximum and minimum in all of these. And our maximum is FE while our minimum is CA. And G is the only one that has that order. Okay, number 3, I mean. The energy of the most intense X-rays emitted by an element is directly related to the element's atomic number. The atomic number of several atoms are shown below, okay? If the, what? Yeah, so we know that 22 is between Si and Ca. We go to mineral 1 and we see between... Oh, yeah, I'm stupid. 22 is between 20 and 24, not 14 and 20. Ca and Cr, so we know that's around 3.5 and 5.5. Okay, and let's go on to number 4, figure 1, maximum intensity. Figure 1, maximum intensity. Mg. Okay, so which one is less than half of Mg? SI, yeah. Okay. 5, what'd you get for the order of Mn, Si, O3 for using figures 1 and 2? You just look at the x-axis and you look at Mn, Si, and O3, and we figure out that Mn is 5.9, Si is 1.9, and O is 0.5, which is most consistent with A. Okay, number 6, I mean. Good. So if you look at whatever symbol that is, it shows that's in between yolk sac and liver. And then number 7, who can do that? How'd you get D?
The birth is 6 and 6, and at that point it's about 50.
Good. So if you want to look at alpha at 12 months, or at birth, I mean, it is at approximately 50%. All right, number 8, who wants to do that? You got J. Okay, did anyone else get anything else? Okay. How'd you get J?
This is the set.
Okay, Sid, how'd you get your answer?
Because it says 48 weeks of age, but then it says 2 years, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the last variant of HP.
Okay, and which one was most abundant?
I thought it was
Good, yes. It's just, even if you look at, they're just saying at the very end which one is it. It's both of those right there. It's alpha and beta. If you go up to here, alpha and beta, which one is that? That's, you don't even need to know the variant. You just need to know.
How do you know what variant it would be? Does it tell
You don't even need to know that for this question. I was about to do that. But yeah, if you want to know the variant, you go alpha, beta. It's this one. It's HP3.
So then when it says 2 years, what do you think?
But you don't even need to know the variant, actually. You just need to know the alpha and beta, which if those are the two most abundant things, that's all you need to know. The question is asking, the most abundant HB variant in a healthy 2-year-old would be what? Would be what globin combination? Which ones are the most abundant? It's alpha and beta. Does that answer your question? Okay. Number 9. According to the information given, so we know we need to look at the intro, which HB variant, HB2 or 3, is more abundant from 12 to 24? So we go from 12 to 24, right in between these two lines right here, from 12 to 24. What's abundant? It's A and Y. So if I go up here and see which one's A and Y, it is going to be HB2. So HB2 is my right answer, and now I'm going to automatically eliminate D. Yes, C and D are out. So HB2, and why is it? Because the Y, which one is greater? Is it Y or B? At 12, from 12 to 24, which one's greater, Y or B? Y. Okay, so which answer is that then? B. A's out. Okay, 10. Based on table 1, how many different P types and Q types are found in the 3 variants? Good. So explain how you did this from this passage.
Okay, so for P types, use the first.
Well, what is P type? Can you explain where you found it?
Yeah. The last sentence of table 1. For example, in each molecule, HB2, A2 is the P type, and then Y2 is the Q type.
Good. So you found it right here.
For A type, you can assume, you can say that for all 3, there's 1 and 2. There's just A and the S thing, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Q type, it's E, Y, B, and then A.
Good.
4.
Perfect. So right here, there are 2 ways you can find it. This one, they gave an example of it right down here. But you can also go right here, and using this formula right here, P type versus Q type, you can figure out your answer as well. And basically, they just want to know how many variants are there. Okay, question 11. Question 11, experiment 1. Which tank was Guppy able to see the whatever? Okay, which one was the Guppy able to see? You're the Guppy. Which one was it able to see the Chichild? 2 and 4, yes, because there's visual cues. So that's B. Okay, experiment 1 differed from experiment 2 in which ways? Burn. This one, number 12.
I got J.
Okay. Where'd you get that from?
I guess.
Okay. Don't ever tell me that bullshit again. Figure it out right now. The easiest way to figure out this question, because... Okay, what was the last time when I said... Let's go to another example, actually, real quickly. Okay, if I said between... Everyone flip to page 44. It's just 2 pages over. If I want to know what is the difference between experiment 1 and experiment 2, what is the easiest way to do it? No. Look at the axes. Look at the x-axis. That's it. Experiment 1 is varying theta. Experiment 2 is varying L. That's the easiest way to do it. But here, in our passage right now, we don't have any visual stuff. We only have text. We don't have any graphs. So the easiest way to do this one is read the answer choices. More Chichilds were observed or more guppies? So I'm going to look for those 2 things. So how many guppies were used in experiment 1? It's a guppy was added. And then a Chichild was added. So it's 1 to 1 in experiment 1. But then when I go to experiment 2, what is it? 4 guppies were added. So if I have 1 guppy in experiment 1 and 4 guppies in experiment 2, what's the right answer, Varun?
J.
Yeah. More guppies were observed in experiment 2 because there are 4. All right, 13. Brianna, 13.
Wait, should I say what you should underline in the question?
Yeah.
We'll underline region Y. And then experiments 1 and 2. I put A. Is that right?
How'd you get A?
Okay.
Let's go over the question first. A student hypothesized that when no cues were transmitted through the barrier, the percent of observation in region Y would be the same regardless of the number of guppies in the tanks. Okay, so they're saying when no cues were transmitted, region Y will be the same. And then when they say the number of guppies, remember, half the time in the ACT, previous questions lead up to the next question. Previously, what did we figure out? We now know that more guppies were in experiment 2 than experiment 1, right? And what are they asking here? Did it vary? Was it the same regardless of the number of guppies? So now we know experiment 1 has 1 guppy, experiment 4 has 4 guppies. And it's saying, is it the same in region Y? So I'm just going to go right to region Y. And they said when no visual cues. Which one is no visual cues? It's 1. So it's tank 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go see tank 1 for region Y. Region Y is a dark black. So for tank 1, go to region Y. In experiment 1, it's about 50. In experiment 2, it's about 40. So is it the same? No, it's not. So we can eliminate A and B. Now we're left with C and D. No, because the percent of observations in region 1 was not the same in tank 1 in experiment 1 and tank 1 in experiment 2, right? They weren't the same. So it's C. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, Varun, explain this question back to me now.
Wasn't paying attention.
Brianna, explain it to him, please.
So, because we knew that the number of guppies changed between experiment 1 and experiment 2, it changed from 1 to 4, and in the question it says regardless, so we know that the number doesn't matter, so we're just comparing regions Y between experiment 1 and experiment 2, which is the black column. No, that's not the right word. Okay. We're comparing region Y, so in experiment 1 it's around 50, in experiment 2 it's around 40, so you can eliminate A and B because they say that they're the same and then they're not. And then in C, it says the reasoning, it's not the same for tank 1, experiment 1, and tank 1 and experiment 2.
Make sense, Varun?
Yeah.
Okay. 14, Varun, can you do that one?
I didn't get to that part.
All right, let's work on it together then right now. So let's underline what's important. So, start reading.
Consider the results of experiment 2. You have to underline experiment 2.
Good.
And for the tank with the barrier, through which the visual and chemical cues, so you underline visual and chemical cues. And then what is the order of the regions of the tank from the region with the largest percent of observations, you underline that, and then the region with the smallest percent of observations.
Good. So we're experiment 2, visual and chemical, largest to smallest, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to experiment 2. Which one had visual and chemical? Which tank? Not 2. 4. Okay, so we're going to tank 4, experiment 2, from largest to smallest, right?
Yeah.
So which one was the largest?
Y.
Good. So Y, which one's the smallest?
Z.
Okay, let's go to our answer choice and see which one has Y at the left and Z at the right. Which one is it? Good. F is your right answer. All right, 15. Manvita.
I got C on it, but I'm not sure which one.
Okay, so let's tell me how you got C.
So I underlined visual cues and far away from predator. and experiment 1. So then you look at tank 2 of figure 1, and then you look at how many guppies were in region Z, because that's the furthest away from the predator, and there was the least amount in there, so I didn't know.
But how do we know which one's the closest and farthest from the predator?
You look at the diagram, and then X is the closest to the predator half, and then Z is the furthest.
Good. So this one, we're using both sets of information. We're going to start out looking at this diagram. We know X is the closest to the predator, and the guppies in the prey half. So what the student hypothesized was that the guppy is going to go all the way to which compartment, X or Z? Z. They're going to get as far away as possible. But if we look in tank 1, where did most of the guppies end up? In the middle in the region Y, right? So the guy's hypothesis is false because the guppies are not getting away as far as possible. They're staying in the middle. And so we're left with C and D. Now, how do we differentiate between C and D, Manutha?
So in Z it says that the guppies in tank 2 and in tank 4. Okay, so it says that in tank 2 and 4 that most of them are in region X. And then in D it says that the guppies in 1 and 3 were in region Z. And we need to look at 2 and 4 because those are the ones with visual.
Good. So your answer is C. All right, 16. Who can do 16? Kritika, 16.
I didn't get to this.
All right, let's read it right now then. The students conducting the experiments made which of the following assumptions about chemical cues?
I think it's J.
Okay. Why would it be J? Give me some sound reasoning for that.
Because when there's chemical only, it's opaque with perforations, and so chemical cues could not diffuse the barrier without perforations. And it also in 4, it has perforations and it has chemical.
Good. So if we wanted to run a sound experiment, if we have only visual here, we cannot have chemicals diffusing without perforations. If it does, there's no way to differentiate between 2 and 4. So we only assume chemicals are going to diffuse with perforations. When there are no perforations, it's not going to diffuse. All right, you guys are going to tell me how much more time you guys need for the rest. Passage 4, do you guys get to this? You guys finished it?
I didn't get it.
Okay. One sec. You guys didn't get a passage 4 at all. Who else got to it? You guys got to it? Okay. You guys should have gotten done with passage 4 as well. So you guys 14 minutes. Take another 3 minutes and finish passage 4. your time's up. Let's go over it. So, 17. Rough it, 17.
I got a D.
Okay.
I underlined experiment 1, greatest, and selected value of data,
Okay, and
gravitational potential.
good.
Yeah, D, because like it took like the longest from 90.
So this one is, remember when we said we have prior knowledge questions. So what you need to know for this question is, everyone should know this from basic physics. Potential energy is equal to what? What's the formula for that? 8th grade physics, guys, come on. You, science, whatever that science class was you had in 8th grade, you learned this stuff. What is it? Come on, you guys know this. Think hard. Yeah, oh, we're going to get to kinetic energy right after this. M, G, H. Mass, gravity, height. Don't tell me you learned this. In 7th grade, you learned it though. You really took physics this year and you don't? Everyone has done this experiment in school, so no one.
Wait, but can't you just use the graph?
You did this in 4th. Okay, so 4th grade. Okay, now you're learning it then. Everyone write these down then. 1/2 mv squared. This one is for kinetic energy.
There's no way we learned that.
You guys had equation sheets. You didn't have to memorize it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I treating you guys well.
What's next to that?
With this one, v squared. Okay, so potential energy is mgh. Gravitational potential energy is the same thing as PE. Okay, so if I have the highest PE, when is my height going to be the highest at which angle? 90. What is my theta? It's this one right here. If this is my theta, a 90-degree angle with me holding it completely horizontally right here. So if I did that and I dropped it, I would have the most potential energy.
Right, but it's like in the graph.
Where? No, you don't look at the graph.
But square the one, you can look at the graph 90 and you get the most time from it.
But how is that related to the gravitational potential energy?
So, like, that's the most energy it has. So it's going.
How is time related to energy?
Because the more energy it has, the longer it lasts, right?
That's somewhat true, but if you look at that like convoluted way, no, this is what you have to look at. When you look at everyone, okay, if your teachers didn't tell you this, they actually failed you. You have the boulder up at the top, okay? It's rolling down the curve. At the top, it has the most potential energy, right? And as it's rolling, that potential energy gets converted to what? Kinetic energy. Good. So when it's at the top, which when this is at the very top, it has the most potential energy. So what this is saying is when the pendulum is right here, when my pendulum's right there and I drop it, what is my potential energy? It's the highest there. You don't really look at experiment 1 in this case, but
So
if
you just picked the highest angle.
yeah, this is a prior knowledge question. There's nothing in this passage that can ever tell you the answer.
I'm not. I feel like the graph.
You could have figured it out, yeah, but like I took AP Physics and I have never learned the relationship between time and energy. But if there is, you got it then. Make sense?
So what's
Yes,
the
no?
question asking?
Okay, so the gravitational, I'm gonna take out all the useless words for you. You don't even need to know gravitation. The potential energy was greatest. Potential energy of the pendulum
Okay, yeah. Okay.
was greatest
Yeah, I
from
saw
which theta?
Yeah.
That's it. That's your question.
So they're not asking about time.
No, they're not asking about
But
time.
then you can use the graph.
You cannot use the graph. This is a prior knowledge question. There's no
Okay,
way.
think about it. If you have a 20 degrees thing, it's only lasting for like 2 seconds.
I literally have no idea how to even relate this to potential energy. I have no idea. So I'm gonna just say like, yeah, you're right, so I don't look wrong, but I have no idea.
No, but it makes
Because
sense. Isn't
I'm
it-
sure there's some relationship with potential energy and time, but I'm trying to tell you guys that this is a prior knowledge question. You need to know.
is there
You
a
need to
formula
look.
for
You don't even need to look at the formula. The formula only tells us that anything at the height, whatever's higher, if you increase the number of the height, you're going to get a higher potential energy. That's what the formula tells us. But using common sense, you should know if I hold something all the way up here versus down here, it's going to have more potential energy up there. So the only thing you need to know for this is the definition of PE. Make sense, Sid? Okay, let's go to question 18. Suppose a trial had been performed in experiment 2 using a pendulum with L equals 175. T would be what? So experiment 2 at L equals 175. So I'm going to go to 175, draw a line right up to the curve and over to the thing. What is it? A, good, between 2.5 and 3. Wait, H, yes, not A. Okay, 19. According to the results of experiment 1 for theta equals 70, the measured t was how many seconds greater than or less than the predicted? So, the measured at 70 is what?
2.21 or no, it's
2.16.
2.16.
Good, so it's 2.16 and 2.2. So the measured is how much different, above or below? Below. So and how much below?
Less.
Good, 0.04. So it's 0.04 less, so it's A. How did the procedure in experiment 1? Okay, who wants Varun? No, I want Varun to do this one.
Which one?
20.
I got F
Okay, how'd you get F?
because they're varying the degrees in the first experiment, and yeah, and then in the second experiment they're varying L
Okay, how do we know that?
because they like have different numbers for L and different numbers.
Alright, Varun, you need to stay after class, bro. Who wants to do this one? Sid.
You can tell from the axes, right?
Good. So, and that's all you need. Manipulate a variable, they're only changing one in an experiment. Here, it's theta. Experiment 2, it's L. Perfect. Pretty easy to answer this question, right? So then we can automatically cross, in experiment 1, which one was varied? It was theta. So H and J are out. And now we look at in experiment 2, what was varied. We don't care what's the same, because they can only change one thing, so, and we don't really need to read and look at what was kept the same. So in experiment 2, L was varied, so it's F, because letter G is saying that M was varied, which it wasn't. Alright, 21.
I got C.
Alright, Manita, how'd you get C?
Well, I crossed out A and B because in figure 2, the y-axis is a lot smaller numbers than figure 3.
Good.
So then from 100 to 200 is a greater difference than 250 to 200.
Good. Notice how she didn't even bother looking from, what was it, L, from the theta, 10 degrees to 70 and 20 degrees to 90. She automatically has looked at the y-axis. This one's going from 2 to 2.35, whereas the y-axis for the L is going from 2 to 4. So already, this is increasing faster than the other one. And then from here, she looked at from 100 to 200, it's going from 2 to 3. So that's your right answer. So it should be C. 22. Krishay, 22.
I got a G.
Okay, how'd you get G?
In experiment 3, it shows a straight line. So, and angle. In experiment 3, the length is very. Wait.
Wait, why is it
Yeah, M is a.
Why are none of the
but I
numbers
was-
greater than four? Or because if it's 200, shouldn't it double?
Okay, so if it had a string length of 200, so we're gonna go right up to 200, and what is the time? It's 2.85, right? Cause what did they say? Use experiment 2 and 3, right? Yeah, or yes. Based on the results of experiment 2 and 3. So we have to start with 2 and then take that information. Whenever they tell us 2 experiments or studies or graphs, you always have to use multiple references. So here we have to use experiment 2 and find this information that at 200 it's 2.85. And then knowing that it's 2.85, we can go into experiment 3 and figure out that it's going to be a horizontal line at 2.85. So it should be B or G. All right, take another.
Oh yeah, I used to that.
Yeah, don't ask. First one left. All right, how much time should I give you guys to finish this up? How much time do you need for passage 6?
Wait, no.
5.
5 minutes.
What? No, there's no such thing as a 5-minute passage. Nope.
7?
Yeah, 7.
Oh yeah,
This, what type of passage is this, Venkat?
that's student one. Student.
Yep, and what is that? Conflicting hypothesis. Good. So that's a 7-minute one. Then passage 6 is what? How many minutes? No, there's no such thing as a 5. It's 3, 4, 7. 3. Good.
Wait, but isn't this kind of?
There's just graphs. There's no experiment 1 or study 1. Last one is what? 4. So 14 minutes to finish up the whole thing. We'll give Sid a sec and then we'll get started. You guys should really be getting quick at this stuff. When you're doing your homework, cut your time down based off how we do it in class. Don't take the full time. If you want to get a good score, that's the only way to increase your speed. If not, you won't. If you take the full time, you're not going to finish on time. All right, you guys have 14 minutes. Fill out your Scantrons. I'm going to collect it when you're done. Yes. And we're going to finish by 8 o'clock today. right, your time's up. Okay, let's go over this one. 24, who wants to do it? Who can start by telling me what the law of conservation of mass is? This is a prior knowledge question, by the way.
Mass can be lost in a reaction. Okay.
Yes, so mass can neither be created nor destroyed, which one does not follow that? Good, because what did he say?
Gas don't have gas.
Yes. Gases have no mass. That is not true. That doesn't fit with the law of conservation of mass. Okay, 24. Suppose that while the balloon was inflating, a probe located near the balloon detected significant increase in CO2. So, which one said that? Which does it support? Good, because what did students say? It says that as, what does it say? Good. Good. It says that it has tiny pores and that due to the rapid pressure increase, a measurable mass of CO2 exited through the pores. Okay, 25. C, how'd you get C, Venkat?
Well, the acid is getting consumed by the balloon, so it decreases from the bottom.
Not being consumed by the balloon, right? It's in the reaction.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is that prior knowledge? Can you use prior knowledge for that one?
this one you don't really need to know like
Yeah.
much. You should know what's being. Well, I guess yes. This you need to understand that this side of the reaction is what's being consumed. This side is what's being produced, which is pretty intuitive. I feel like you don't really need to understand chemistry to know that. But does everyone know how the chemical reaction works? Okay. Another thing you should know is how to balance a chemical reaction as well. How many ever O's you have one side, you need to have that many O's on the other. Same thing. Every single letter, you need to have the corresponding one on this side. That was on one of the tests that you guys will do soon. Or you already took it, I don't remember. But you took it? Okay.
Do we ever practice math?
No, not really, because most of you guys should be proficient in math, but we're going to see. But yeah, that's another thing I'll tell you guys as well. There are 12 math practice exams you have in those books. Every week, do one, even if it's not offered for homework, okay? If you do it, show us, we'll check it in, and we'll put it on your thing as well. But if you want to get a better score, do that. And if you're running out of time, don't do all the questions. Take 20 minutes and do, actually take 15 minutes and just do the last 15 questions, which are the hard ones, and that's the only one that matters. Okay, 26. Kritika, 26.
I said it was H.
Okay, how'd you get H?
Okay, so student 3 said that because of the buoyant force, the balloon so it says the actual mass of the apparatus didn't measurably change. So then I said it was because it stayed the same throughout the day. So I said a student 3.
Good. Right here it says there was not enough time for measurable mass of gases to have exited the balloon. So basically they're saying no gas left, the mass did not change, which is why it's student 3, because it started at 3, 24 hours later it still was 3, which is why it's H. Based on alright, 27, who wants to do that? Rohit.
I got C.
C, how'd you get C?
So like student 3 is saying like the mass like won't change, and like you look at figure 2, it says like 68.1. Like that's the mass, and yeah.
Did anyone get anything else?
I said it was
I got A because it It's asking what's the displaced. It's not asking the final mass.
Good. Displacement is final minus initial. Yeah. Or initial minus final. One of those, but it's the difference. And once you do 68.7 minus 68.1, you get 0.6. Does that make sense, right?
Yeah, I don't think I saw the
Good.
displays.
All right. 28. Who can do Manvita?
I got D, but I
Okay, how'd you get D? Also, can you guys pass up your Scantrons to one side, please? Pass them all down to Critical.
think I did guess on that one because I was like trying to find myself.
Okay. So, who can do 20? Who can help Manvita out on 28? Varun, can you help her out on 28?
I didn't really get this question.
Alright, why don't you both of you guys try it out and give it a shot.
Wait, if it's saying most likely to decrease,
Is it F?
shouldn't it be 1 and 2 or no? It should be 1 and 2. Yeah, 1 and 2. Because 3 saying
Isn't it just one?
Yeah, it's just one. How is the gas leaving in student 2s? What is it through? Yeah, but it's through the pores of the balloon, right? And then student 3, what is he saying? It's the buoyant force. Whenever you do these passages, I think it helps. I never did this, but I kind of regret it. Just write on the side the main idea of what they're saying. This guy is saying, what is student 1 saying? CO2 equals no mass. Okay, so you can write on the side for this one. He's saying lead exits through pores. Student 3, what are they saying? It's the buoyant force. That basically tells you the idea of all three things. And that's really all you need to answer every single question. So, whenever you have conflicting hypothesis, do that. And whenever you have conflicting hypothesis questions, the first passage, read it in detail and underline what's different, what's the same. Then student 2 is just going to say, I agree with him, but not on this one thing. And they're just going to change up one little thing. And student 3 is going to be like, yeah, I agree with them, but I think this thing's different. So once you can write what's different off the side, it just helps you a lot. All right, 28. So suppose that the apparatus had been fitted with a rigid airtight cap instead of a balloon. Okay? And then which of the following students would likely to predict that the mass would decrease? It's F, because F said that once it reacts and creates a CO2, it has no mass. 29.
C.
Yes. How'd you get C?
Because 3 is the only one that says it doesn't measure village.
Good. Okay. Let's go on to 30. This one was there was one hard question in this.
What was the last one? 30?
Yep. We'll go over it though. Based on table 2, which is following grass best Sid.
J.
Good. How'd you figure this out quickly?
You just do it. You just plug the numbers into like a graph or whatever.
Yeah, but don't look for all 4, just look at 2 of
just
them.
look at H2O and all. And
Good. So what you do quickly is to get rid of F and G or H and J, look at water. Then to differentiate between anything else, look at silicon. And you only need to look at those 2 and you got it. So it's J. All right, 31. The K for H2O in table 1 was most likely closest to which temperature? So in table 1, what was the K for water?
80.1.
80.1, good. And where is 80.1 now in 31?
It's like close to 30.
Good, it's right in between 0 and 30, right? And which temperature is that? 20, good, so it's A. 32. Based on table 1, the dielectric that fills the PPC shown in figure 1 is most likely which material? How'd you get that?
Wait, table 1. So the difference between 10.4 and 2 is like 8 point whatever, and that's the closest to Pyrex glass.
Did anyone else get another reasoning for how they got this question?
So in the little thing at the top, it says that the capacitor meter, like what we got times the dielectric, is gonna be like the one for the next one.
Good. Right here it says CK equals C initial multiplied by dielectric constant. This is what tells you the answer. So basically they're saying, let's see if I can write this out. CK is equal to C initial times K. That's it. And C initial, what is C initial? Well, C naught means C initial, which is 2, right? Okay, so 2 times what gives us 10.4? 5.2, good. Now we need to see which K had 5.2. Pyrex glass, good. That's how you figure that one out. And right here, Pyrex glass had the K of 5.2.
So did I get lucky?
Mm-hmm. 33.
D.
How'd you get D?
Because it says that when exposed to an electric field of 3, and then over here, table 2 gives the dielectric strength, and then in parentheses it says the maximum electric field strength at which a dielectric remains an insulator. So that means the maximum is like, wait, I can't explain this, but you can't have
You're on the right track.
You can't have oxygen because that's less than 3.
Good.
The other two are greater than.
So these table 2 tells us the maximum values that it still remains an insulator. So if we expose it to an electric field of 3, this can only go up to 2.97. After that, it's no longer an insulator. But we're exposing it to an electric field of 3. So this one is no longer going to be an insulator. However, air, and then what's the other one, nitrogen? That's going to remain because those can go up to 3.23 and 3.13. Does that make sense to everyone? Now, how you have to figure this out, it doesn't say based on the information given. It just says based on table 2. However, you need to, once you go to table 2 and you figure out you can't answer this question, you need to skim the passage. And this is one passage I would have read because I have no idea what a whatever that means. So I would have most likely read this passage. Remember what I told you, there's always one hard conflicting hypothesis. There's always one hard research summary and data analysis. This is the hard one. The rest were easy. This one was hard because we don't know what a PPC is and what a dielectric is. Let's go into 34. What's the easiest way to answer this question? There's a lot of wording in here. But what is the question itself asking? Right here, the question starts. Based on table 2, approximately what minimum voltage would be present between the storm cloud's base and the ground immediately before the lightning from the storm cloud strikes the ground? So if it's 300 meters and it is oxygen, or if it's air, yeah. So what is the value for oxygen, or air, I mean? 3.13, good, right here, 3.13. And if all the answer choices have 3.13, you don't even need to differentiate. So if I have 3.13, right here, 300 meters, how do I convert that to millimeters? Is it going to be 300,000 meters? No, so I can automatically cancel that out. Yeah, it's going to be one of these millimeters. It's not going to be 300 millimeters. And how you do this is whenever you have m times something, on the bottom if you have mm, what do they do? Cancel. And what is the question asking? What minimum voltage? That's the important thing, voltage. So your end answer needs to be kV. So it cannot be this one because this one leaves the answer in meters. It doesn't give you a voltage answer. This is what we call dimensional analysis, and you'll learn that in chem.
Wait, so it can't be H.
Can't be H as well.
So then would it be mm squared? Or oh no, they cancel out. So
Because remember, look, 300,000. You got it?
mm times I got it.
Okay. All right, 35. This question, you just needed to read the last sentence and answer. You didn't need to do anything else. 35. According to the results of study 1, at site 1, what was the maximum concentration? Sid.
Site 1, the maximum is 54, and it's at 4 centimeters.
Perfect. Site 1 right here. Okay, 36. At the average sediment accumulation rate calculated for Site 1 in Study 2, and let's also underline accumulation rate, the time it would take to accumulate a 40 centimeter thickness would be closest to which of the following? So I'm going to go to Site 1 in Study 2. And where do I look? It tells me right here. If you want to calculate out the sedimentation rate, you can. That's a long and tedious way. Or you can just look right here. It says 0.41 centimeters per year. How do I get this to be 40? What do I multiply by? 100. That moves the decimal point 2 places. That gets me 41 centimeters, which is close enough. So the right answer would be G.
Can't you just look at like the date on the graph?
You can, yes. Show us how you did that.
So, well, it tells you that from 1954 to 2003 that it's about 20 centimeters. And so they're asking about 40 centimeters, which is about double of that. So
You could do that as well. But that'll work as well. How many of you guys did what I did? How many did you do what she did? Okay, most of you guys did that? Okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. That'll still give you the right answer. 38. 37, I mean. $37. Venkat, your mom asked what time class is going to be done at, so you might want to tell her. Okay. 30. Which one are we on? 37. Who can do this? Krishai, 37.
I did C.
It is not C.
The D.
No.
Wait, which 37?
37. Who can do this? And whenever you guys want to find answers to a test, type in the code on the bottom left, go to Google Images. It'll most always be like the first one that comes up. Or it's on the bottom of every single test we upload. Krisha, I would have picked D on a test if I did this. Is that what you chose?
No.
You chose C? How'd you get C?
I added or
Because if you add them, it's like basically at 8, this is approximately 25. This is approximately 50. That's 75. That should give you over 60. But what I think they did was they averaged it. This one is a question I'm going to ask Jason on, but it looks like they averaged both of these to get B. I will come back to this. They'll put a star next to it, and we're going to figure this one out later. 39. Based on the information provided, what does this mean we have to look at? What?
38.
38. Oh, we skipped that one. According to the results of study 1, at site 2, the concentration of PB in the sample at the surface sediment was how many times as great at a depth of 10? Okay, study 1, site 2. Sid.
So when it's at ground, it's at 75. When it's at 10, it's at like 26 or whatever that is.
Remember, always do dirty math. Round that to 25.
25.
Yeah.
So that has to be more than 2.
Yep, which 25 is got to be 3, so it's going to be J. Always approximate. You can approximate to crazy, like round up from like 0.1. That's good enough to a whole number. Okay, even on math, just round. All right, based on the information provided, why was no C as present at site 1 and site 2 sediments at a depth of 30? Who can do this one? What does based on the information provided mean? Yes, so we read the passage, and which line tells me the answer?
CS data indicated the total thickness of sediment that had
Nope.
been deposited.
Skim the intro. So if I were to skim the intro looking for CS, how many times does that come up? Like 4 times. So I see one CS right here. That's not it. CS here. Unlike PB, CS is produced only by human activities. It has been detectable in the estuary sediment since 1954. So it's only been present there since 1954 now because humans put it there. So anywhere below 30 centimeters, it's not going to be there because this is the only time humans were there. Everything before, humans could not have put the CS. Does that make sense? All right, so your right answer should be what? Yes. All right, 40. Accumulation rate for site 2. What is the accumulation rate for site 2 in study 2? 0.37. Which one gives me the closest to 0.37? G and J give me over. 40 over 49 is way higher than 0.5, so I'm left with F. Everyone see how I did anyone divide this out on their paper? Okay, don't ever do that if any of you guys did that. Okay, so what you guys are going to do for homework today is you're going to do the next 2 passages in reading. You're going to take your Scantron home, you're going to fill it out, you're going to turn it in with the Scantron next week. Okay, annotate it as well. And then I need to, why didn't any of you guys do your homework? Why did you just think that? Didn't it say on your, why didn't you check the website? But don't you know we have homework every single day in this class, basically? We're doing the same thing with you, man. We got homework every single day. It's summer, we're giving you guys homework every single day. It literally takes to do ACT homework an hour or 2. And the people who do their homework in this class are getting really good scores. And I'm going to be blunt with you guys, those are the kids who are going to go to really good colleges in this class. And I already know which of you guys are those. So, props to whoever does their homework, but for those who don't, get ready to go to a pretty shitty college. Because, Bruin, it's not something to smile about, bro. If you want to make money in life, you got to go to a good school. I know the kids who get jobs coming out of U of M versus State, the kids who come from U of M make a lot of money. And then the kids who come out of Stanford, MIT, make double whatever Michigan kids make. So, do your homework, man. Manvita, I need you to get a new book, okay?
Yeah, I know, I got one.
Okay. Because, like, you could have turned that homework in, because you actually did it last class. And I would have never known. So, like that, I need you to start using the new book. Because you actually did this homework last
I
time.
just thought that you would.
Okay.